Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode we'll be taking a look at the Sigelei 150 watt box mod with temperature control. GearBest sent me this box mod for review. I've been using it for about a week and I didn't even look it up to see how much it costs. And then today, now that I'm writing up all my notes for this review, I go to GearBest and find out this thing's only 60 bucks. That's amazing. 150 watts with temperature control, uses two 18650 batteries, very powerful device. Sigeleis are known to be outstanding devices, and come to find out it's only $60 with free shipping at GearBest. By the way, I put the link to this device on the GearBest website in the description box below. So let's go ahead and take a close look and make sure it's worth it. Your box mod will come in this box. Has a little pull tab right there. You just pull it and you'll find your mod in this box along with this documentation. And we have here a warranty card. We have a instructional booklet on how to verify the security code, which you'll see on the bottom of the box there. I think that's the security code. I believe that's the security code. Yeah. Also, a very, very well written instruction book. I'm very impressed. You know, when these devices from China first came out, instructions were terribly written or terribly translated. Let me rephrase that. This, however, is an outstanding instruction book, and I really like how they show you what the screen will display as you're going through the different instructional paragraphs here. I also noticed that things like low resistance, check atomizer, short, very descriptive warnings will show up on your screen. No guessing, no looking up codes or anything like that. So lots of pluses here. This is a multilingual. Looks like they have, I think this is Spanish on the second half, English on the first half. Also, this nice silicone sleeve came with the device. It's, I'd say, a white translucent. It's very tight fitting, but it's really nice once you get it on there. Everything fits perfect. And we'll go ahead and put this on before the end of the video so you can see what that looks like. As far as size comparisons for this device, because this is kind of a large device, but I want to show you what it looks like compared to, let's say, a vapor flask right there. Let's see, what other device can we compare from? How about a Smoke Cube 2 X2? That's a pretty large device, so you can see how that looks compared to that. Alright, so you got your frame of reference. So like I said, this was a 150 watt device. It's variable wattage as well as temperature control, and it only can utilize the pure nickel, the Ni200. It doesn't do titanium. It is powered by two 18650s that are not included. They're inside this magnetic door. You just sort of push out a little bit and pull it away, and you have magnets right here. Batteries, you want to utilize 35 amp batteries. Now these aren't the best ones, as the experienced vapors know, but you want to make sure that they are 35 amp. These are okay because I'm not going to pump this up to 150 in my daily use. Here's the magnets right here. You can see magnets right there that hold the door on. Plus and minus clearly marked. You can see there's some tabs here, so what you want to do, besides, by the way, this ribbon, make sure you go around all the batteries so you get them out. You just sort of place it down here, and those tabs sort of slide into the device, and it holds pretty good. I get nervous with these magnetic doors because, let's say this Cube X here, I had this here for two reasons, not just to compare, but to show you what a bad door is like. See how easy this, so you're holding it, and it's very easy to knock this door loose. As a matter of fact, I could sometimes bang this loose easily. This is done a little bit better. You have to, make a kind of an effort there, and even as it starts coming, it's not going to go too far. It doesn't clank or anything, so it's done much better. Not perfect, but much better. The finish on this device is a soft touch black finish. It's really nice. It almost feels a little rubbery even though it's not, but it does show up fingerprints and things like that, so you might have to take like a little wet something with water, wipe it, and then wipe it with, let's say, a microfiber cloth to get fingerprints and stains off it. There is a spring-loaded 510 pin there on the top. There's also 4 air channels to go ahead and get air to your bottom sucking devices that you'll put on top. The display is a mirrored screen, and underneath that mirrored screen is a OLED screen. And I'm going to go ahead and start the device real quick just so you can take a quick look at that. You hit your fire button right here 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see the Sigelei logo show up. And then we have our screen. Really nice. It has your battery right there. In this case, because we're in variable wattage mode, you can see the watts, the percentage of the battery, 100%, your voltage, and your ohms reading. So all in one, really nice. And of course now it's saying check atomizer, because guess what? There is no atomizer on the top. On the bottom you'll find 19 holes, yes, I counted them, on the bottom there for battery venting in case you have a battery issue. Now besides the fire button you have 2 scroll buttons, so as you know, in this case in variable wattage mode, you would just go up and down your range of wattages. By the way, wattage range, this goes from 10 watts to 150 watts. In temperature mode, it's between 212 degrees Fahrenheit to 572 Fahrenheit, which is 1 to 300 Celsius for you metric heads. In your temperature control mode, instead of adjusting watts along with your temperature, you adjust it in joules, and it goes between 10 and 100 joules. And it's kind of interesting. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me, instead of just talking about it, let me show you. We're going to go ahead and put this device into temperature control mode, and you can sort of see how that's done. And then we'll talk about the ranges of features in that mode. So I think this is like a 2 or a 0.2 ohm temperature nickel thing in here, I believe. Let's see. Alright, so to turn on and off this device, or turn on the device, it was 5 taps on the fire button. Now once it's on, 5 taps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will bring up the menu system, and then you hit your button to sequence through the couple of items. So right now it's in power mode, which is variable wattage mode. I could hit one of these scroll buttons and I'm going to put it in Joule mode, which is temperature control. Hit the fire button. Now it's asking me if I want to do Celsius or Fahrenheit, so I want to do Fahrenheit, and then I'm going to set my temperature, and it was already maxed out at the 572. I'm going to bring this down to about 450. Let me see, that's interesting. Click and hold it. There we go. Whoop, I went too far. No, I didn't. You know what, I'm going to bring this to 500. How about that? 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Let you see that. Hit the next button. And now exit, which is what I want to do. So we'll go ahead and exit. So now you can see that it is by default 10 joules, which is on the low end, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And we need to set the ohms. Now you want to make sure that your device is cold. And what you want to do is press, wake up. Alright, press both these buttons at the same time, and you set your resistance. And it's saying it's 0.178. So now if I bring this up again, see how it says 0.17 right there for your ohms, temperature control. Now, we set the temperature, now we get to set the joules, which is the amount of power. So if I press the up button right here, you can see the joules going up. I'm going to bring this up to, let's see, because I could go all the way up to 100. I'm going to bring this up to 50. How about that? 50 joules. Maybe even a little more. We need more power. Let's go up to 75. 75 sounds like a good number today. Alright, and it could go all the way up to 100, so you could go from 10 to 100. Now, I've never had a device that you set joules, you always set watts. So I looked up what that was all about because I was a little confused as far as what a joule is. It's power, and there's a conversion. Now I put the formula in the description box below, but for joules is like watts as well as the amount of time is this sort of in the formula, power and time. But if you were to have 10 watts for 1 minute, that would be 10 joules. So in this case, I set this to 75 joules. So for I said 1 minute, 1 second. So 1 second at 75 joules is 75 watts. If that makes any sense whatsoever. You can look it up on Google as far as a thing, but it's power in watts is equal to the energy, which is joules, divided by the time. So essentially 75 watts would be 1 second of 75 joules, if that makes any sense. I'm not a mathematician. Okay, so I have this in temperature control mode. What I'm going to do is hit the button and we could see what that looks like on the display. Alright, I'll go ahead and stop it. So you can see how the voltage is actually changing to control the temperature to keep it at 500 degrees. So we could actually watch that sort of move. I kind of like that. You notice it doesn't cut out and cut back in. It doesn't like keep on hitting limits, cutting off and cutting on. It seems to be consistent and stay on, which I really like. So, wow, look at that. I just had juice all leak out of it. By the way, this is a harvest tank that just leaked all over my new device. Now I gotta get a tissue. Alright. I guess, you know, sitting there hitting the fire button without sucking probably will create a problem with some tanks, and obviously the harvest tank, it will. By the way, the juice that is leaking out of my harvest tank happens to be Vanda by Johnson Creek, part of their Red Oak series. Alright, move the tissue. Ranges, as far as the ohms rating for your atomizer, can go anywhere between 0.1, wow, it goes down low, 0.1 to 3 ohms for your resistance of your coil in there. So that's a pretty good range. It gets down there pretty low for you serious sub-ohm vapors. Ugh, all this juice. Okay, so besides that, the only other specs I wanted to cover in this video, because I don't want it to get obscenely long, is all the protections that are built into this device. As a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting. You could even see some electronics down in there, coil in there. Kind of interesting. And I'm going to have to clean up this juice really quick that I got leaking out of here. But anyway, it's not a fault of the device, it's a fault of the tank. So protections, this comes with low voltage protection, low resistance protection, input high voltage warning, has output short circuit protection, reverse battery protection, and overheating protection. So through the very easy menu system, we have this set to 75 joules at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's see what kind of vape we get from this device. It sounds very, very smooth. Like there's no pulsing that I sense. It's not cutting on and off like some temperature control devices do. Very nice, and it hits really good. It's a very, very good device. Now, I'm not I don't have all the technical devices to actually look at what this device is doing as far as regulation and waveform and noise and things like that. I think there's another channel out there that you probably know that you could go to do that. But as far as just sitting here vaping it and just enjoying vaping, this device feels right. It feels perfect to me. And I really like how the menu sort of sequences each setting as you go down the line. Okay, you went to this mode, now you need to do this. You select that, go to this, select that, go to that, select that. I like it. It's sort of like a wizard in the world of computers to get something done instead of having to know and do all that stuff. Very simple menu. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab another device and just check out the variable wattage mode. So what we'll do is we'll unscrew this leaky harvest tank and grab a Aspire Triton. I'm going to just screw this on the device so it doesn't fall down and juice all over the place. And we'll go ahead and get an Aspire Triton tank and pop it on here. And now we have to go ahead and put this into power mode. So what you do is we'll go ahead and hit the power button there 5 times, so it's sort of like a power / menu function. And then you hit that power button, sequence through the modes, and you can see where it says Joule mode. So I'll go ahead and select one of these buttons, scrolling buttons. See how it scrolls between Joule power and mode power. So mode power is your variable wattage mode right there. And then we'll go ahead and hit the fire button, and then we'll go ahead and exit. So now we're in power mode. So now when you're in power mode, your select buttons will just sequence your watts back and forth. Now it did take into account changing the ohms reading, so now it says 0.42 ohms since this is just a regular Canthal type of atomizer in there. There we go. Alright, so let's I'm going to bring this up to about 45 watts. Like I said, I'm not using this to its full ability of 150 watts. I just don't vape that high. Whoops, what did I do? There we go. 45 watts. It ends up 4.3 volts at 0.42 ohms. So my battery is still 100%. Alright, let's see how that works. Wow. Very, very, very good. I like this device a lot. Now I am vaping something different in here. It's another Johnson Creek juice, and it is called Tennessee Cured, part of their Red Oak. 100% VG also. That's what their Red Oak is. And it's a tobacco flavor. So I'll tell you, I think this is one of my favorite tobacco flavors, the Tennessee Cured. It has a little bit of a sweet tobacco taste. It's very, very good. So this is the Aspire Triton sub-ohm tank, and just a regular coil, not temperature control. Again, we are vaping here at 45 watts, 4.2 volts. It's a 0.4 ohm atomizer inside there, and the battery is still 100%. So it's very efficient with the battery. Wow. I am very, very happy with this. So, as promised, I said that I would go ahead and put on the silicone sleeve. Now, when you put this sleeve on, there is sort of a downside to this guy. Actually, I'm noticing there's two. No, there is a downside to this guy, and that is that in order to get the battery out, you have to take this off. So, alright, let's go ahead and get this sleeve down there. You can see it's not too terribly hard to get down there. And one of the things we want to make sure is that everything lines up good. And you can see there the buttons. Your fire and mode select button is good. Now I do notice that the buttons are sitting flush. They're sitting flush with the sleeve. So if you like your buttons to stick out, you just lost that. By the way, these buttons are some of the best buttons I've felt on a device all year long. There is no rattle, there's no movement side to side in the buttons, and they're very good tactile feeling buttons. They feel solid. They bottom out nice. You know, they're not mushy or soft. They're not rattling in there. Very good. The display, I wish were a little bit brighter. It's bright when you're hitting the fire button, but when you're just sitting there working things out, it's a little dim, and it's probably going to get washed out outside, so it might be hard to see outside. On the bottom, the sleeve does not come around to the bottom, so your device is still sitting on, you still can get scratched if you sit it down. The sleeve is not protecting the bottom, is what I'm trying to say. I do like that you could put the sleeve on and not have to take your tank or your RDA or whatnot off. You could actually get it on and off, like you just saw. I put it on with the device on there. Time for another vape. It's really good. So, if you haven't noticed, this is a pretty large device. Might not be ideal for like an everyday carry kind of device, or even to, I don't know, you could keep it in your car if you have like a nice cubby that'll hold this thing without it falling over. But I'm curious to see what this weighs with this tank and the batteries in it. Let's see. A hair over 13 ounces, so that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of a device. It feels like you have a couple of rolls of quarters in your hand, so it's good to bring to a fight. But it's a large and rather hefty device, so this is good for around the house or around wherever you probably going to stay. But I wouldn't want to sort of have to carry this around with me, so I wouldn't consider it a good everyday carry device. But it's good, like if you're at work and it's just sitting there at work, perfect. If you're at home, relaxing and everything, and you want that power and all these features right there with you, they're all there in a device that just sips the battery, at least on the settings that I've tried. Now, I know I'm not vaping way up there, but really nice, and I really love this silicone. It also has a nice soft feel to it. It feels very, very nice. Very, very good. Okay, so if you are interested in this device, GearBest has this for only 60 bucks and free shipping. Now, it is coming from China, so it does take a little while. It took a couple of weeks. It didn't take an insane amount of time like some places do, so they get it to you pretty quick. And I believe that with GearBest, if you do decide to want it quicker, they do have other choices as far as shipping is concerned. That'll cost a couple of bucks, but maybe you could speed up the time just a little bit. It all depends on where you are in the world and all those other variables, what time of year it is. There different countries have different holidays that affect different post offices in different ways, and we live in a world of change, so of course you have weather and you have human factors that are also involved with you getting your device to you in an expedited fashion. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to give you a lesson in joules to watts conversion. I probably failed miserably, so I apologize, but there is a lot of good information out there on YouTube. But if you're looking for a large, powerful device, 150 watts, you really don't have to look any further than the Sigelei 150 temperature control and variable wattage box mod. It is out of this world. Perfect buttons finally, and a nice perfect sleeve, other than it doesn't come around the bottom. That would have been kind of nice. I would like to see one feature in the future. One feature in the future, and that would be to be able to use the titanium temperature control coils. That would be pretty cool. Right now, as far as I'm aware, it only utilizes the pure nickel, which is the NI 200. Alright, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and, of course, you. And I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye. Also comes in this nice box, sort of like a soft touch finish, kind of neat. Little drawer right here. You just pull it by the tab. It comes with let's see, like an extra O-ring of some sort and an extra button cover right there. And you know what? This belongs to a flashlight.